So for you Geminis, right? You Geminis actually have the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Swords, right? So that's very interesting. So for you Geminis, oh, by the way, there's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to financially support the channel so I can keep the show going. You know what I'm saying? Sooner or later, I will be replacing the chair and the desk. Got to go ahead and update the equipment in my room, i.e. my office. But for you Geminis, right, you have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords. I see a lot of you Geminis are really beating, so to speak, the narrative or how do I say this? You Geminis are having things go your way because you Geminis are actually you're not running away from your heart. The Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords represents you now understand what it means to flow from the heart. It's not this sense of running away or the need to be right or the need to get this or get that. You Cancer crab. I just did the Cancer crabs video. Sorry about that. Why I love Cancer crabs. Sorry about that. You Geminis, right? Sorry. You Geminis are able to actually come from the heart. And what I mean by that is you Geminis are not running away. You're not coming up with excuses anymore as to, why you won't chase somebody, why you won't talk to them. And when I say chase, I'm not talking about chase them forever, but I mean why you won't go after them when you see an opportunity, right? And the ability to not leave yourself open to, if they say no, you deal with it and then you move forward. The Ten of Swords right here is about how it is that a lot of you Cancer crabs, a lot of you Geminis, sorry about that, a lot of you Gemini, I'm thinking about something going on, but anyway, sorry about that, right? Sorry, Gemini. But for you Geminis, you have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords right here represents, once again, even at the expense of things not necessarily working out the way that you had hoped in the past. You did wanted to be in a relationship in the past. You still want to be in one now. But the difference is that before, you Geminis may have been very afraid to be in a relationship because you were running away from your heart because people aren't as straightforward as you would like them to be. And that need for cracking jokes is kind of your adaptation to other people's inability to be as direct as they need to be, right? And this need, because it's not really a need, but it's an ego need. This need for the ego to be alive by doing head fakes, right? Faking people out. And a lot of you Geminis don't really care for that anymore. I see a lot of you Geminis are like, look, you're going to put your best foot forward. It's going to be honest. You put down the sword, which means that it's not about running away. It's not about coming up with excuses. It's about, and if the things don't, if they say no, then they say no. You're not going to lay around forever and cry about it. The Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords is about, because you have a lot of opportunity. As long as you're alive, you have a lot of opportunity. And the Three of Cups represents that opportunity that you Geminis have. This ability that you Geminis have to not only actually socialize, but also get people to want to hear more of what it is that you have to say. You Geminis have the gift of gab. And what do I mean when I say the gift of gab? I mean the ability to talk to people, and as they listen to what it is that you have to say, you sway their perspective on you, right? And a lot of you Geminis know how to do that already. It's just that, sometimes you Geminis, just like Virgo, you were running away from that because it's this ideology of, well, what if somebody ends up trying to run a game on you? What if somebody ends up hurting you? And the Knight of Swords now represents there will always be people that will try to run that type of game because, truth be told, Gemini, love and pain are in the same vein. That's what I mean. Love and pain are in the same vein, meaning that you're always taking a chance. I've said this before, like the ideology of trying to, trying to keep score about who approaches whom first. This is what another reason why it is that I say that it's stupid, because in the long run, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And you should do both, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Because a person will get themselves so caught up with keeping score and who's approaching whom first, to the point where they forget that you're we're all on a timeline here. And if that's the case, you being on a timeline, we can never be able to get the one resource that we want so much, but we'll never be able to get back, and that's time. So it's like you have, again, you have people who have this mentality, who think, well, I should only be the one that gets approached. And they will be stuck on that hill, like, oh, I don't care what it is. And it's like, at the end of the day, you're adults. Those people are adults. If that's what it is that they're gonna do, that's cool. But time is going away. Time is wasting. Don't be, don't be one of those people that spent so much time thinking that, oh my gosh, X, Y, Z, and then now time run out, and then it's, oh my gosh, I got all these things that I wanted to do. So then why did you waste your own time BSing? Go after what you want. So I see a lot of you Geminis now have that mentality, right? And it is a good mentality to have, because it makes you braver. And not only does it make you braver, but you actually are able to bounce back a lot faster. You're able to bounce back faster, because you're not tripping out or ruminating about how it is that you need to protect yourself. You know what I mean? That's a little bit too much concentration on protecting yourself that you used to think of. And now it's like, if a person shows you that they are on this combative, on some nonsense, they're not really being serious, they're not showing themselves to be a knight, they're not showing themselves to have chivalry, balance, equilibrium, they're not showing themselves to be fair, thinking ahead, they're not showing themselves to be discerning, all of these wonderful attributes and characteristics that a person should have on both sides, regardless of whatever you're into. Then, both wise parents will have a wise child. So, what was I going to say? So, a lot of you are braver. And the thing is that the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, you already have the ability, Gemini, to be able to take care of yourselves. Y'all have the gift of gab. Trust me. Y'all have the gift of gab. I've seen you Geminis break away from your own homes, because I've seen it personally. Break away from your own homes and find your way out, doing what it is that you're doing. Whatever, I'm not necessarily alluding to a particular profession per se. I'm just saying, in a general sense, living your lives, doing whatever it is that you're doing. And the Ace of Pentacles represents, you do look at relationships as well as yourself as a treasure trove. And you should. If your mind and your heart are in the correct place, you should look at relationships and yourself as a treasure trove, because that's what it's supposed to be anyway. You Geminis are supposed to have the ability to actually, cherish yourself enough to stay away from the weirdos, not be so hurt when things don't necessarily go your way because a person shows you how weird they actually are. Bounce back. The King of Pentacles, right, is about how, and also make sure that they're actually contributing to you as well as you contributing to them. Love should not be a one-way street at all. It should be obviously a two-way street because it takes two. A person can't tell you that they love you, and in actuality, they're working against you to undermine you, and to rip you off and to take away everything that you want and everything that you have from you. Then that person is a sly devil. But at the end of the day, that's not what a relationship is. And that's another thing too, right? Like Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Watch out for anybody that's trying to rob you of that. Because spiritually, on another level, it's not even about the physical things per se. It's about depriving you from your own happiness, robbing you of your own contentment with yourself, your inability, robbing your ability to be at peace with yourself. So you Geminis have to understand. All right. Love you. So you Geminis have to understand that you shouldn't even allow someone to even try to run that on you. The devil now in the Seven of Cups is about, because if relationships make you feel trapped, if you feel trapped or caged while you in them, then it means it's time for you to bounce. Because more than likely, the Seven of Cups, this person has other people that they have waiting in the wings, or they're already talking to anyway. So what's the point of feeling like you have to remain loyal excessively to this person and allow yourself to get disrespected? You should leave. So overall, I see a lot of you Geminis are taking that lighthearted approach, but you're using it the correct way. You're not thinking that everything should be lighthearted, but you're able to make a better judgment call on when you should be more lighthearted. So they start disrespecting you and you move forward, that is lightheartedness. And like it is, I said before, everyone can learn something from every zodiac sign, And one of the things that people are supposed to learn from you is the lightheartedness and knowing how to use it. Not everything should be heavy, dark, because if you have heavy and dark and everything is heavy and dark, then it's grim, it's gray, it's grim. It's unclear as to what the point of existence, what the point of life is. If a person disrespects you or they treat you like you're, like they playing the hypergamous game, they're playing the game and they're dubbing you and all this other type of nonsense, and you're trying to get to know them, the ability to bounce back, the ability to have compassion, go through your grieving stage, understand that life goes on, and then have the ability to bounce back is an amazing gift. And that using that gift is very powerful, Just like everything shouldn't be used lightly, because if everything is used too lightly, you won't get taken seriously. So let's clarify the Four of Pentacles. The Six of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords for you Geminis. So the Six of Wands and the Knight of Wands represents you're moving forward, right? And the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Swords represents it actually represents how other people can't move forward because they take everything so personally, because they're in the game, they're playing the game. It's all about, because what is the game now? The modern day games, it's all about making the person feel terrible, belittling somebody, Darwinism, classism, oligarchism, everybody trying to, ego, everybody's trying to, I ain't gonna say everybody, but so many people are trying to boost their ego, standing on other people's shoulders, trying to ridicule other people, right? Even going so far as to being in relationships with them and liking them, but still end up having to betray them in order to bolster or boost up their ego. And they're honestly no winners when even one person is in the game, in this couple, in this meeting of the two people. So a lot of you Geminis now have the ability to where, the chips are down. You do win. You do find a way to win, because it's not about you Geminis allowing yourself to be put down and be made small and belittled. This is more so about how you Geminis are actually able to move forward and let other people kind of have this mentality of this hyper competitism, right? This hyper competitive, the competitive nature. Because the hyper competitivity is really what's messing a lot of people up. You got a lot of people, and I'm not talking about anybody, but you have a lot of people just in a general sense who really compromise their spiritual value, right? And they talk about money like, oh, like money is their only measuring stick of success. It's like, oh, I got more money than you. And it's like, right, but you had to compromise yourself in order to get this money. So you're never going to be respected like that because you compromised yourself in order to get this money that way. And the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords is all about that your family. Like, what quality of a connection are you making? It's not about just making a connection, just ragtag. It's about the quality of the connection as well. Who you Geminis are actually with, and how the two of you can actually elevate together and individually. All right, now let's clarify the Ace of Pentacles. I had no idea I talked for all that time. So to clarify the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Page of Swords, King of Wands, the Justice, the Empress, and then the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, because the Ace of Pentacles, remember how it is I was telling y'all that y'all are treasure trove and you're starting to go through that hero's journey and see yourself that way. Well, the Ace of Swords and the King of Wands represents, obviously, you're still going to have people who are going to try to test that. But just because they try to test it does not mean that you Geminis will automatically fail. Because you're going to have people who are in the game, The majority of people on Earth are in the game. I mean, take a look at these balloon popping shows. It's ego, because there's no real justification to belittle the person. If the person is coming to you correctly, like, what is this fascination? It's because it's a part of the game. People who want to delude other people, right? The pickup artists know that. The people who want to delude other people are naturally in the game by nature. So the procedure is they have to decline or put down or belittle the other person, because they are essentially doing what is known in the pickup artist community as peacocking. Peacocking, where they are trying to essentially show and parade and peruse and philander how much value they have by trying to do something to shake up and differentiate themselves or break away from the group, to not be so monotonous, not blend in with the other people. But it's stupid, because the fact is, I can't really imagine someone a healthy person trying to be in a relationship with someone who is unhealthy and warped like that. Like, their idea of them showing you that they like you is for them to be a complete jerk to you. So the Justice now, the Empress, right? The Justice and the Empress both representing Libra, other air signs. This just represents how it is that, you Geminis are done with that. The ideology, of you just being attracted to that is stupid. And the Justice is leaving them alone to deal with what it is that they have to do. The Empress, and let their own ideologies and their own hypocrisy and their own confusion, their own Darwinism and classism and oligarchism. Because that's what creates elitism, oligarchism, classism. Specific people can only fit into this club. You're not in the club. It's exclusivity. Pickup artistry. Pickup artistry, game, 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 as it is that, pickup artists call it, right? Or people who are in the game of doing that, right? The ideology of exclusivity. I'm too good for you. What I'm bringing to the table, nah, I'm too good for you, X, Y, Z. You not ready for this. And at the end of the day, it's game in the sense that a lot of the times people who move like that, who have to belittle somebody, more oftentimes than not, and I've said this before, there's been social studies done on this, where people who try to get others to chase up on after them, there's really not a whole lot of value on the other end if they were to get some level of exclusivity. That was the relationship. The relationship was the chase. So it's stupid at the end of the day. So a lot of you Geminis, you will meet a lot of people like that, but you're going to be, it's this outlook that a lot of you Geminis have, because you Geminis are actually fixing your mistakes. So a lot of you are learning from your past faults, right? So you're realizing you need to change or shift your attention to this here. Instead of doing this, stop wasting your time on people who want to play that game and use the exclusivity. That's why it is I clown people who act like that, because I know I'm telling y'all, like, I could break down the game to y'all in a book, you know what I'm saying, by heart. Like, the game is stupid at the end of the day. I'm telling y'all, the games, I've read it. I've read pickup artist book. Like, I've read that stuff. I've hung around the players. I've tried to soak up as much game as I possibly could. Like, it's stupid when you really understand it, right? The game is the game is the game, and it's reserved for a few people who are trapped in that mentality, because it comes from a mentality. It really does, and that mentality comes from worthlessness. But the Ace of Pentacles, you Geminis are not there. You are not, oh, well, I can't clarify a card with the same card, but overall, you Geminis are not there. You understand your time is valuable. And if a person is going to try to waste it or try to get into a love, disdain relationship with you, it's not going to work.